Hey, everybody. Every day we are getting a little bit closer to the end of the school year, and I don't know about you, but I'm super excited about that. Hasn't the school year just lasted for forever? I mean, for the handful of you that are still doing my classwork, and for the handful or the majority of you that haven't been doing my work all year, I still love you. I get it. Life is hard. Being an online student is hard. Being stuck at home all the time is hard. Not getting to see your friends, doing the things that you want to do, it's hard. I get it. So we're just going to focus on like having the things that we do for the rest of the school year be just really fun and playful and just enjoying being creative. So, our next big unit that we have, it's our last big unit, really, before your last project of the year. So, your last big unit, we're going to focus on fairy tales, which you might have gathered from the Virtual Learning Day assignment. So, we're going to be doing this thing called Twisted Fairy Tales, and I'll go into that more next week. But basically, you're taking a fairy tale, the traditional story of a fairy tale, and finding a way to twist it. So you may think that like the Disney version of a fairy tale is the original version, but it's actually not. So you want to go back to sources like the Grimm's fairy tales, written by the Brothers Grimm, or Hans Christian Andersen is the other guy that wrote down all the fairy tales. So this week you're going to want to try and get familiar again with some fairy tales. If you're a Disney kid, then you're very familiar probably with a lot of good fairy tales. But if you're not, you're going to want to spend this week in particular kind of reassociating with fairy tales in their original form. But that being said, the assignment for this week, because we have a virtual learning day on Monday, Tuesday we have the STAR test again for seventh graders. So our week doesn't even really begin until Wednesday. And so then we only have a 3-day week. So my in-class kids, we're going to be watching Into the Woods because Into the Woods takes like 3 or 4 different fairy tales and combines them and weaves them all together, which is in itself a twisted fairy tale. And you guys at home, if you have access to Into the Woods, you can watch Into the Woods too. If you don't have access, but you have access to a bunch of other fairy tales, pick a fairy tale movie that you are going to watch. You're going to watch it not just from the point of view of a kid watching a movie that they love. You're going to watch it from the point of view of, do I really understand the story and the plot and what happens and who the characters are and all of that. You're going to study that fairy tale, not a superhero movie, not an action movie, okay, a fairy tale. Think Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, The Little Mermaid, what's another fairy tale? Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Princess and the Frog is originally based on The Frog Prince. So consider all the different fairy tales that you know that are made into movies. And then you're going to take that fairy tale movie and do a little bit of research and find the original story on Google. And you're going to compare and contrast the Disney movie or the fairy tale movie that you're watching with the original story. Oh, Snow White, also Snow White. How could I forget? So you can choose to do the animated versions. You can choose to do a live action version. There's some great live action Snow Whites out there, which is why my brain thought of them. So again, I'm going to give you better directions on what you're doing. But again, you're going to pick a movie that you really love, a fairy tale movie. Rewatch that movie this week if you can. And then go onto Google and find an original version of the story. So you're going to type in like original version of Sleeping Beauty, and try and find a hard copy version of that. If you can't, message me. We'll figure it out. I'll try and help you find a copy, okay? But find that original version, and then you're just going to write a summary of how the movie version is different or the same as the original version that you read. And then next week, I'm going to go into how we are going to be creating our own twisted fairy tales. It's a really fun assignment. Most people love it. So this week, just enjoy looking into some stories and reading and watching and being chill. Like, why not get this project done? It's not that hard. You can do it. Okay, progress reports come out. A lot of people are failing because a lot of people aren't giving me work. Even kids here at school aren't doing their work. So, you know, it is what it is. You want to fail, you want to fail. But I would love to see you guys getting your grades up in the next 3 weeks with this fun phase of our assignments. So if you have questions, if you need to clarify whether movie you want to do is a fairy tale or not, send me a message. You know I'm terrible. I will get back to you as soon as I can. Love you guys.